Now on Mississippi Insight. 12 News goes one-on-one with 3rd District Congressman Michael Guest on the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the president's trade policies and Republican prospects in the 2026 midterms, and we'll hear from the declared candidates and prospective contenders for governor as they stump in Neshoba County. That's all ahead this week on Mississippi Insight. I'm Byron Brown. Thank you for joining us for this August 3rd edition of Insight. Republican Michael Guest has served in the U.S. Congress since the 2018 elections, and he has risen in the ranks to a key committee post, chairman of the U.S. House Ethics Committee. And he will continue in that role following his unsuccessful bid to leave the Homeland Security Committee. Congressman Guest returned home last week and welcomed us to his office in Brandon for a wide-ranging interview. Here's a part of that discussion. The One Big Beautiful Bill, you supported that bill. How will it help Mississippi?
You know, it particularly a couple different ways, but one for Mississippians in general and really for the entire American public is it prevents the largest tax increase in American history. We are going to prevent tax rates rising for anyone who makes more than $12,000. We're going to be able to make sure that we keep intact the child tax credit, the standard deduction that's taken by 90% of all filers. That was scheduled to be cut in half at the end of this year. And we actually extended the Trump tax cuts in the fact that we have included Social Security, so additional deductions for seniors. Those hourly paid employees who work overtime, they're going to be able to keep more of their hard-earned money, as will individuals who earn their compensation by way of tips. And so this is a very comprehensive tax package that's going to help all Americans keep more of their hard-earned money. In addition to that, there was border security that was part of that. We're going to fund 700 miles of additional border wall, 900 miles of river barrier. We're going to be hiring 3,000 additional Customs and Border Patrol agents, investing $3.5 billion in technology that will help us prevent and stop both human trafficking and narcotic smuggling. We're making a substantial one-time investment in our military. We're going to see pay raises for our servicemen and women, and we're going to make sure that our military remains the premier fighting force across the globe. So a lot of different priorities were tied into that single piece of legislation, and I think it's not only going to make America stronger, but I think Mississippians are going to benefit.
But there's a big cut to Medicaid expense. So how is that going to impact Mississippians, and how do they make up for that, particularly when it comes to like rural hospitals?
Well, and it's not a cut. I mean, it's been described as the media as a cut, but CBO projects over the next 10 years that we're going to spend $200 billion additional dollars on Medicaid. And so when you talk about the fact that we're cutting that, we're not actually cutting it. We're going to continue to grow that program. But we did put in place certain requirements for people who are going to be eligible for the program. And CBO projects that that's going to be, you know, when you talk about, or the media talks about that people are going to be losing their health care. It's going to be because they fall in one of three buckets. One, they're not United States citizens. And look, we shouldn't be funding the health care for people that are in the country illegally. That's at least my belief. I'm not going to say that's the belief of every individual, but that's my belief. The second is Congress put in place a work requirement. The work requirement says anybody who's able-bodied, do not have dependent children at home, that they have to work 80 hours a month. So if you want to qualify for government-funded health care, the Medicaid that's going to be paid for by the taxpayers, then you've got to at least make an effort to work that 80 hours a month. And the other bucket is those individuals who won't meet the verification process. We changed the verification process from annually now to biannually, so twice a year. Individuals who are on the program will have to go in and they will have to verify their address, their earnings potential, things of that nature. And so those would be the individuals that would be potentially impacted. And those changes don't even go into effect until 2027. And so it's not like those effects, those impacts happen immediately. We still have a year and a half to study what that would look like. And so no one is losing their health care. We're going to continue to fund the program, and we're going to fund the program an additional 30% of where it is now over the next 10 years. So for the argument to be that we being Republicans are kicking people off health care, I don't believe that argument is accurate.
When you say you're going to be studying it over the next year and a half or so, when you say study, you say that if it looks like there could be some people losing that shouldn't be losing, you might make a change to the policy, or what do you?
States will have the opportunity, to provide feedback, and if there are things within the existing law that they feel are problematic, Congress would have the opportunity to make changes to that law before it went into effect in 2027. And so while I say studying, we have the ability, again, that if we feel like there are certain parts of the law that in retrospect might be particularly harmful, Congress has the opportunity over the next year and a half to make changes to that.
The president's out there trying to get these tariff deals done. What's your position on the tariffs?
We saw that last month, because of the tariffs, we actually had a positive flow into the United States Treasury of $27 billion. And so, we see that the tariffs have been successful in generating income for the United States Treasury. We're starting to see now that countries are looking to negotiate with the president for tariff relief. And so what the president wants to do, and what I agree with, is look, just want a level playing field. I believe that American businesses can compete with anybody across the globe as long as we have a level playing field, and that's what the president's trying to do through the tariffs. Particularly, though, I think that we've got to make sure that we put tariffs in a couple of different buckets. Those people who are our friends versus those people who are our foes. We've got to make sure, particularly with Canada and Mexico, those are our two biggest trading partners outside of China. We've got free trade agreements with those countries, and so I think we need to treat them differently than we say someone like China, who does not have the best interests of America at heart.
What do you think about your party's prospects in 2026 in the midterms?
I think it's all going to come down to the economy. Right now the economy is doing well. We mentioned some of the positive economic developments, from job creations to stock market to the fact that inflation is beginning to go down. If the economy is good, if the economy is solid, if President Trump's numbers are high, I think that there is a good likelihood that Republicans can control the House or maintain control of the House, and that we will continue to be successful in the Senate. I think it's too early to tell right now. Some of that's also going to be impacted on potential redistricting. We see what's happening in Texas, that they're currently undergoing redistricting. We know that California and New York has said that they may also contemplate redistricting between now and the next election. So, if the economy's good, if the president's popularity numbers are good, I think that bodes well for Republicans next November.
What do you make of the redistricting that's going on in Texas or California, wanting to redraw the maps to hold on to seats? What's your thoughts on that?
My personal thoughts is, look, let's redraw those once every 10 years, once every decade. But to redraw those, unless you're ordered to do so by the court, I don't think it is. I think it creates a domino effect. And like you said, so when you saw Texas say they were going to redraw their districts, well, then California said we're going to look at it, New York, even New Jersey. And so, for us to be redrawing districts, every 2 years or 4 years, it creates a real problem for members like me who serve their districts, because what I try to do is I try to get out in my district to make sure that I know the elected officials, the community leaders, those business leaders in my community. And so if my district is constantly being redrawn from one part of the state to the other, it makes that very difficult. And so I look at it from a member perspective, and from a member perspective, having certainty that you know what your district's going to look like, that you're able to invest in your district, form those relationships with local elected officials, that's extremely important, and that becomes much more difficult to do if your district is constantly changing.
Watch more from our interview with Congressman Guest online and on our streaming app, WJTV Plus. We'll take you to Neshoba County after the break. The 2025 Neshoba County Fair is wrapping up Sunday. As happens each year, some of Mississippi's top politicians came out for stump speeches last week. Election prospects were on full display as declared and potential candidates jockey for position ahead of the 2027 gubernatorial race. Here's a sampling.
I want to be the next leader for the state of Mississippi, to blaze a trail for the bright future of Mississippi, to keep agriculture our top priority, but also the economic growth that we need around the state and all the other industries. Most people don't know I have 20 years of experience doing business deals in the state of Mississippi. I represented private companies, raising capital, a very highly successful deal maker. I can bring those same deal-making skills to the governor's office and do the same thing for the people of Mississippi, and I want to do that for you. Another issue on my platform is public safety. As I travel the state, I was in North Mississippi yesterday. I'll be all over the state in the next few weeks and years and months. But I hear this, and I think you probably hear it too. There is a gang criminal activity, a criminal interest, criminal activity that's creeping into our state. Some of it's coming from New Orleans. We just busted a Facebook marketplace ring and recovered $300,000 worth of equipment that was brought in here, a ring out of New Orleans. Some from Alabama, some from Mobile, some from Memphis. But these folks are coming in here with brazen criminal intent, and I want the whole world to know. We're going to arrest every single one of them we can find, and we're going to put the fear of God in the rest of them, and they're going to want to leave town. Amen? That's right. I know what I'm talking about, because that's exactly what I've done for you on the state fairgrounds in the middle of Jackson, Mississippi. I'm proud and I'm hopeful for Jackson, for the future of Jackson with the new mayor. I look forward to working with him. But the hardest job I've ever done is running a fairgrounds in the middle of the most dangerous city in America. We're going to make Mississippi safe again and bring back law and order and peace and safety for our people. And I'm the man who can do it. Not only that, we need to make infrastructure a priority. We need to invest in infrastructure, transportation, roads and bridges. But also water. Do you know water is our most precious asset other than farmland? I think water is our greatest asset. The experts tell us that within 20 years, California will be dried up. The states of the Midwest will be dried up. And Mississippi in the Southeast will be the food production hub, the breadbasket of the United States of America. And I believe, and I hope you'll join me, that Mississippi can be the leader in that regard. We got water that nobody else has. Water infrastructure, stewardship, and energy. We need more available, abundant energy. And then doing more with less. Government efficiency. I'm almost through. Doing more with less. We are excited about what we do at the Department of Ag. We've been able to consolidate 3 different agencies, not just talk about it, but consolidated 3 separate agencies into one, the Department of Ag, and we're doing more with less and getting better results. We need to do that across the waterfront of the state of Mississippi. And finally, I believe in freedom for everybody, freedom for all Mississippians. I want to put into place an agenda of freedom so that Mississippians have the same freedoms that folks in Arkansas do, and Tennessee do, and Louisiana, and Alabama. Y'all agree with that, don't you? We deserve the same freedoms, health care. We deserve the same choices and options and competition in our education system for schools and in terms of insurance products. We want to make that happen. Working together, looking ahead, planning for the future. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. We're not going to fail, we're going to win. Will you join me? Help me blaze a trail for the bright future of the conservative state of Mississippi. God bless you, I love you. I'll see y'all soon. God bless, thank y'all so much.
When I went from Tupelo to Wilkinson to Natchez to the coast to Hattiesburg, all over Mississippi, going and meeting with people and meeting with these community leaders. What do you need for next year? I want to know, how can we help y'all? How can we get better? You know what they told me? We don't have any homes. We don't have starter homes for individuals to come here. When we bring business into the Golden Triangle, we don't have a place for them to live. So we need to start a process where we make starter homes available and affordable and attainable for people in Mississippi, and you will see that program coming out this year from the Mississippi Senate. Jackson's a capital city. You need to feel like you're safe when you come there. It should be a vibrant capital city. We'll be working to review a plan on how we make it more vibrant. We now are devoting over 150 officers, 2 judges to downtown Jackson. It's a safe place to come if you're going to Jackson State or going to UMMC or going to your capital. It's safe now, and we need to bring business back to our capital so it becomes vibrant again, and we'll be doing that. When we came back, when we went through the process of addressing the state retirement plan, one of the things we needed to do, and they told us they needed more money. So we're going to put in $187 million more per year into the state retirement plan. And this year, and that for the next 10 years, we need to put $100 million more than that in to make sure it's fully funded. So you'll see us passing a bill to have that. We need to grow our workforce. One of the problems we have in Mississippi is we're running out of workers. We've got all this business coming in here, and we don't have enough people working. So the way to do that, of course, is to take people who are currently working who want to upscale their job. They want to come up and they want to do a different thing that'll make more money, a better economic life. So you'll see us this year adopt the Mississippi Reconnect program, where you can go back to your community college tuition free and upgrade your skills. That upgrades Mississippi when we do that. I want to talk to you one other thing. President Trump has done more deals, raised the economy, the stock market's gone up. It's an unbelievable thing. And when we look at this, when I started looking at this just a few months ago, I noticed that we were accumulating cash in our account. And we've accumulated $1.4 billion in cash. That's in addition to the rainy day fund. That's in addition to the wind pool fund. So this year, you know what we need to do? We need to give the money back. This year, that's right, this year we're going to announce a $316 million tax rebate where we pay your money back to you that sent it to us. Last night, after I'd written my speech and everything, I was listening to Fox News. And the newscaster came on and he said, the rebates are really a good thing. You know, we've made so much money off of tariffs that the Congress and the President are thinking about giving a rebate on your federal tax return. You know what my comment is? Come on in, man. The water's great. We'd love to have 2 rebates in Mississippi.
So in Guardian Force, we worked with our federal, our state, our local law enforcement officers. Over 400 came together on Operation Guardian Force. So that signifies the working together and making a difference. So we even had the Trump administration come down. They wanted to see how we did it because we do such an amazing job. They came down and observed the operation as it was in action. And what they saw is that we all come together in Mississippi. So we certainly had our law enforcement. We also had our victim services providers all together working to protect and to help our victims. And we all do it to make sure that justice is served, that there is security out there in every community across the state of Mississippi, and that the rule of law is always upheld. So I want to give you some amazing numbers from Operation Guardian Force. So together, we arrested 72 criminals for child exploitation, human trafficking, possession and distribution of fentanyl, and other dangerous drugs. And here's the other compassionate side. We rescued 29 victims. 29. Now we're helping them on the road to healing, which they so deserve. Not one victim said, I want to be a victim. Everybody needs to have hope and know that we are there for them on their journey. We also took Operation Guardian Force to continue to be innovative and creative. We found an app and a website called Simply Report, and we tested it this last operation. We're now testing it so it'll become a nationwide platform so that you can take the app and you can report immediately to the Attorney General's office that you see someone that you think is a victim, and you'd like for us to have that information and that tip. So as we turn this into a nationwide platform, we're taking those tips. We're taking the tips from you as concerned citizens. We're getting them very quickly to law enforcement. We're using AI so we can prioritize the tips and how law enforcement can look at them as a whole. So it's a tool. It's an amazing tool. And And we think it helps all of us get Mississippi to a better place, to say to traffickers, we're going after you, and it gives you the tool to help combat one of Mississippi's greatest criminal threats. You know, again, Mississippi, we're leading the way. We are making that happen together. But we're able to do that in the Mississippi Attorney General's office because you trusted me to lead this office, and we've built that service on partnerships. You've always heard me talk about partnerships and working alongside with everyone in the state of Mississippi. And I'll commit to you, we'll continue to do that. If you'll trust me in this office or whatever elected office I might hold, I will always put your interest first. I will build bridges, partnerships for the better good of the state of Mississippi, because that's how we thrive, that's how we grow, that's how we get to your best future ever. May God bless you, may God bless the great state of Mississippi, and may God bless America.
Big thanks to Congressman Michael Guest for talking with us this week. We'll be back next weekend with more of the political and current affairs coverage that you demand. I'm Byron Brown from all of us here at 12 News. Make it a great weekend.